In just 2 years of watching wrestling, I have been blessed. I have been very fortunate. I've been able to go to a lot of wrestling shows and get an experience that I know a lot of longtime fans have not been able to do. And I always talk about how incredible and how much of a good time I have at these events, but there's something that I usually leave out or something that I've only really hinted at from time to time. Listen, to be totally clear and honest, I have met a ton, countless incredible people in just going to wrestling shows, whether or not even just wrestling shows, but going to wrestling meet and greets, events in general, wrestle cons. I have met some of the most genuine and kindest people I have ever met in my life at some of these events. But between those interactions, I have heard some of the most vile and disgusting things I have ever heard in my entire life. And I want to talk a little bit about it. Warning, this topic kind of sucks. This is the part where a few of you will run straight down to the comments and tell me how soft I am and how I just need to get used to it. Clearly, I'm not built for watching wrestling. You go ahead and help the algorithm. I'm going to have a discussion with the rest of the adults. I want to talk about the very fine line that I believe there is between kayfabe hatred for a character and real life disrespect to a human being. Before we go any further, I do want to be very clear on what I'm talking about here. What I am not talking about is the standard booing, the F you, the you suck, or go F yourself. Just the standard hatred toward a character and what they're trying to pull out of you. That's not even remotely what we're talking about here today. We are talking about the people that always find their way in almost every wrestling show I've ever been to at every level, whether it's been at a PLE, a weekly show, a dark show or dark match show, whatever you want to call it, or an indie show. No exception, there is always at least one, unfortunately sometimes multiple people that have never learned the proper way to talk to another human being. Now, I imagine part of the answer is that things were just more lenient back in the day, that you could shout out certain words that I hear at literally just about every single show that I have gone to in the last 2 years. Is it everybody? Absolutely not. But regardless of what level I go to, whether it be a pay-per-view, premium live event, a weekly show, a weekend full of dark matches, or even an indie show, there is always that little spot, sometimes a larger spot in the crowd that just feels like they really need to get some things off their chest, and they feel like because someone is a heel, they are fair game to using these terms. Now, truth be told, I have wanted to make this video for months, probably going on 6+ months now, but it took a really bad interaction at, unfortunately, my local indie show tonight that kind of pushed me over the edge, and just at this point, I don't know where else to put this, so we're going to just put it into a video. I don't know, maybe there's something about the fact that I'm able to be more personable with these wrestlers that are at the local indie shows, and I'm able to speak with them and get to know them after the shows, that these terms and these things that people say, and I'm not going to be repeating them for obvious reasons, but it pisses me off a little bit more when I hear it about someone that I've actually gotten to know and know are pretty damn good people. It doesn't make it any more acceptable at a larger show just because there's 10,000 people there. Not at all. That's just how we got here tonight. Now, truth be told, I'm not really sure how the reaction is going to be to me even wanting to bring this up, especially with fellow wrestling fans, because as much as I feel like I am no longer a new fan, I feel like I understand the product and I can engage with it, and if in a way that I can contribute to a conversation, the one place that I actually don't always feel like I'm a part of it and I don't feel at home is when I am at the shows. And it's not just because I'm hearing someone yell out something disgusting toward a performer. It's because they'll say it, and then there are definitely times where I would think that I am getting to the point where I live in a world where somebody would say something, or somebody would be like, yo, chill, like, why? But then the reality kicks in and a few people laugh or giggle. And now that could be a nervous laughter, that could be an uncomfortable laughter, but sometimes you can tell when it's not. And the first thought might be, well, why don't you say something? Why don't you be the one to tell them to shut the hell up? If I'm being honest with you, I don't want to. As much as I would love to cuss someone out for telling someone to pull up their pants and go back to the hood where they came from, I would prefer to not put myself, and more importantly, the person I'm with at the show, in any sort of unnecessary danger. Yeah, I'm not looking to get in a fight at a wrestling show with some drunk asshole. And the other reason why I don't is because, yeah, I still feel newish when I go to these events and I hear so much that I'm not used to being around. Yeah, part of it is I don't spend my time with people that speak this way. I don't spend almost any of my time with people that treat other people the way that they are talking to these performers. Believe me, I grew up watching sports. I've been to a lot of football games, a lot of hockey games. I've heard some of it. I've heard a little bit of it, but nothing has compared to what I have heard at wrestling shows, mostly because when I go to the Lions game, I never hear anyone yelling for the players to take their tops off. So what really is the play? Do I just sit there and do I just have to, is this really just you got to get used to it? That's just the way the wrestling scene is. Just don't even get me started on the internet wrestling community. The IWC has it is literally this guy, this drunk guy in the crowd is a large portion of the internet. And that I've come to accept that because the internet will always be that kind of a cesspool. But in person is crazy to me. In person, where the person, especially on some of these smaller shows, they can hear you. They can look you in the eye when you say these things, and that doesn't bother you. What about the wrestlers? I know there are some indie wrestlers or just wrestlers in general that I have seen in the comments, and you've told me that you can give me some sort of a perspective on things that I have talked about and brought up in the past. What do you make of this? Or maybe someone has talked to a wrestler. Maybe you've heard interviews like this. Maybe some of you can point me in the direction of an interview that can enlighten me on this. What's the thought of from a wrestler when they hear these things? Is this a situation where it's like, well, I guess it's better than no reaction at all? Or like you can't be that hungry for some sort of a reaction that you're cool with that, right? I mean, if you are, I'm not going to tell you anything, to be completely honest. I don't know what it's like to be a wrestler, and I'll never know what it's like to be a wrestler. So maybe hearing someone yell a slur at you is better than pure silence. I would be shocked if that's the case, but if that's what it is for you, I guess so be it. That sucks. And especially at a smaller show, I don't want to be that guy that causes the scene, because if you've got, say, 50 people watching a wrestling show, one of them saying some crazy stuff and 15 of them are laughing, and the one guy that has a problem with it says something, well, guess who's going to look like the a-hole at that point? If it causes any sort of a disturbance to the performance, now I'm the guy that I should probably just leave because I'm the one who doesn't fit in. 10 to 15 people is definitely an exaggeration. It's usually, anywhere I go, it's usually like one or two people that are just saying disgusting things, and then you usually got like 3 to 5 people in the nearby area kind of giggling at it, and then you can definitely tell there are other people that are extremely uncomfortable by it. Do you know how fucking annoying it is to go to a wrestling show and bring your female woman spouse, and listen to some drunk piece of shit yelling behind for the performers to show their I don't find that funny, and I don't understand how there ever was an era where it was funny. I'll throw some like ounce of forgiveness because everyone was a moron with this kind of stuff back in the 80s, 90s, and even 2000s. I feel like at this point, it should be pretty well understood that that's just not how you talk to a human. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be super disappointed if all the comments are just telling me that's just how it is. It sucks, or, deal with it. It's no big deal. It's just words. Because I think that just means that, you know what, maybe I'm not, maybe I'm a different wrestling fan at that point. If that's the case, if it really is just you just have to suck it up and this is just the way that it is. Well, then that honestly sucks. I was going to share like a few stories, of a few examples of this, but I feel like I've dropped enough hints and I've said a few things. I feel like I've made my point. If this is genuinely something that I just need to get used to, and this is just the way of the land, and it's never going to change, and most people are just fine with it because it's just in good fun, well, then in my opinion, that is the worst part of professional wrestling. And it gets even more complicated when you're talking about indie shows, right? Because they're not selling a bunch of tickets. They're trying to get, if you want the indie show to succeed, you don't want to cut down on their tickets. I don't want to yell at someone to the point, or even talk to someone to the point where they don't come back. And now because I opened my mouth, the local show that I want to support, and I want to grow, and I want to succeed, and the wrestlers that I want to see get an opportunity to have a place to succeed. I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, is hate money still money, right? Like, is money that's coming from someone who is going to say these types of things to you while you're doing what you love, is that, I mean, that's worth it then, I guess. I mean, I don't want to speak for them, but like, I'm not going to be the one to say, well, no, you shouldn't accept that money, because we all got bills to pay. So I get it. I guess, especially at the smaller, in the smallest levels, yeah, I guess you just want to deal with it. So maybe I'm answering my own question. Maybe it's worth it. Maybe it's worth listening to. I don't want to keep listing examples, to be completely honest with you. You know, some of us make friends with, a very diverse group of people, and you meet a lot of different people that come from a lot of different backgrounds. And some of these things that you hear get yelled and thrown around like it's nothing. Yeah, they get to you, and maybe not to you, but to me, and I know others as well. It's actually insane that I have met some of the best people I have ever met in my life through wrestling, and I have also heard from some of what I can only interpret them as some of the worst people I have met in my entire life. I still love wrestling. I still love going. I try to make the best of it. I really do try to tune those people out. And if that's your solution, believe me, I do try. But it's something, it's being screamed, it's being yelled, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's literally someone sitting directly behind me or next to me. So even if they think they're being quiet or they think they're being discreet when they say some weird, nasty stuff under their breath to the person next to them, yeah, I have to listen to it the entire show. I cannot be the only one that hears this when they go to shows, because it's not, I mean, if you don't go to shows, literally just picture the stuff you see in comment sections, literally just picture the stuff you see in chats or whatever, the stuff that we've had to block in this community. Imagine somebody actually in person feeling like that's something they should say. Yeah, maybe I'm being a little bit dramatic, but I think this could just be a result of when you hear these things said about and toward people that you've grown to care about and you've grown to root for as a person and as well as a performer, hearing some of these disgusting things, I think it gets to you a little bit more. And yeah, I figured this would be the time to bring it up and talk about it with you guys. See you down in the comments. Please don't disappoint me. Bye.